Hello, friends. In our day to day life, we come across a very normal question: why an owner most of the time do agreement with the tenant for less than 11 months? So, is there any particular requirement why owner of an immovable property enter into a contract with their tenant for less than 11 months? So before going to answer this scenario, I would like to start with few terminology regarding these kind of transactions. So here we are going to discuss about what is lease and what is leave and license agreement. So let us first of all understand what is lease, then leave and license agreement. At the end of the discussion, I would explain why generally owner enter into a contract with their tenant for 11 months or less than 11 months. So lease basically transfer an interest in the property. Property means immovable property, and it gives exclusive possession for a fixed term to the tenant, and also it is governed by strict rent control laws. So this is called lease. There are two parties involved in lease. One is lessor, another is lessee. Lessee transfer its property to the lessee for a certain period of time at a predetermined contract price for a particular period of time to use the property, means he transfer all the right to use the property to the lessee the way he want to use. So this is called lease. Exclusive right to use the property transferred by the lessor to the lessee is a lease transaction. On the other hand, a leave and license is merely a permission to occupy, with possession remaining with the owner, and also it is governed by the Indian Contract Act. It means the leave and license agreement means when the owner of a property retain the occupancy or permission to occupancy with itself, and possession of the property remain with the owner, and permit to use to the tenant. So here the tenant does not have the exclusive right to use the property the way he want to use, and leases are transferable, they are heritable, whereas license and leave and license are not. So let us understand the key difference between these two terminology, considering few factors. One is possession. So lease gives the lessee exclusive possession, often keeping the landlord out, and license grant access but not the legal possession. Transferability factor: in lease is generally transferable and it's heritable. License is personal to the licensee and it end upon the death of the licensee. Third is termination. Leases are harder to revoke, often require long notice period, and licenses are easily revocable by the licensor. Licensor has a right with the licensor contain the right through the agreement to vacate or to revoke the agreement as and when he required. But this is not so in the case of lease. Legal framework: leases are governed by the Transfer of Property Act or rent control laws. Licenses are governed by the Indian Contract Act. Registration requirement: lease, leave and license agreement are often for 11 months to avoid complex registration, whereas long-term leases usually require registration. Right. A lease creates an interest in the property, and license is a bare permission to use the property. Therefore, no transfer of interest taken place in case of leave and license right. So now question is which one to use. We should go for lease transaction as a tenant, or we should go for leave and license. For lease transactions are basically better for long-term commercial tenants wanting security, property control. Like you have seen in various malls, somebody if want to open their retail outlet or a shop, because his intention is to remain there for longer period of time, so he should go for lease kind of transaction, because through the contract he has possession of the property and he has interest in the property. He can use the way he want to use it. And at the time of vacation, he has to serve the notice to the lesser for certain period of time as per the agreement, and accordingly he can move out. But this is not so in the case of leave and license. Leave and license is basically better for owner letting residential space temporarily, as it easier eviction and protect ownership right. Like residential property, you must have seen, generally the owner of the property used to give the property to the tenant for leave and license basis, and hence since the registration requirements are more in case of a lease, and he put the condition of uh, leave and license up to a period of 11 months, because after 11 months it becomes complex registration, uh, uh, complex registration requirement is there. That's why they only go for 11 month lease. As a result, they can evict the tenant easily and they protect their ownership right. So that is now the question is why owner of a residential property generally do the agreement for less than 11 month or 11 month. There are two reasons behind it. One is owner of a property, residential property, wants easier eviction of the tenant as and when he need. Second, he want to protect the ownership right of his house or a flat, whatever it is. So friends, with this I hope you must have understand the meaning of the lease as well as the leave and license agreement. So in my coming video, next video, I will be available with you with more informative session or video. Hope you are liking my videos, liking the content that I am sharing with you. So please, if you like my videos, or if you have any comment or advice, so please comment me on my videos, and if possible please subscribe my channel, share my video as much as you can. So very soon we will again discuss another topic of finance and laws. Till then, thank you very much. Stay blessed. Jai Hind.